So our project is called Why Do We Dig Gardens? And the idea is, what brings us into the natural environment and actually encourages us to put something into it? What do we put in and what do we get back out for ourselves? And that could be a sense of well-being, it could be a sense of physical activity, and it could be a sense of giving back either to the environment or to our local community, especially when it's a community garden or a piece of public green space. But more than that, rather than us just assuming as practitioners and promoters of the natural environment that this is what people get out of it, this is a chance to really drill down on a scientific basis and find out what are these real bits and pieces, the nitty-gritty, that contribute to this feeling of well-being, or like we've really achieved something in the natural environment.
It's also about trying to find out how people co-create that well-being with the nature when they're in these public spaces. So is there certain aspects of nature in terms of the sounds, the sights, the smells, or is it the activities, is it the social interaction? And so, yeah, the project's trying to look at those different factors and which ones stand out, and how important is environmental quality to nature connection and well-being, as well as sort of having an overview of the environment and how people interact in their own preferred ways to get what they want from it. So yeah, that's a really exciting bit as well. So I come from a human geography background and a psychotherapy background, so I'm very interested in people as well as people's interactions with place. But this research project brings with it also atmospheric chemists, environmental scientists, in terms of measuring the environmental quality of the space we're in terms of its greenness, in terms of the sounds, in terms of the types of smells. And I think the exciting bit at the moment is that we're starting to have these conversations of how does the environment impact us in a perceived way, but also perhaps an unperceived way, so it's on the edge of our awareness, but we're not actually maybe taking as much notice of it, but it's part of that atmosphere that creates a calming space, creates a beneficial space.
So the participants that we're working with in this project, about 30% of them come with a diagnosed condition of anxiety or depression, about a third of them have a physical health challenge, about a third of them have the same problems that all of us have together. But the thing is that if things become too much, quite often it leads to other things. There's comorbidities, multiple morbidities, and a lot of these are social in their origin. Diagnosing medicine or pharmaceuticals or going to see your GP every 2 weeks is really literally putting a band-aid on the problem. You have to deal with these underlying social factors, and a social solution is really the obvious place to go, and that's what this project's really about. The fringe benefits are a better, more vibrant, more biodiverse community for everybody. So as far as the side effect goes, that's a pretty good one, and that's what the value of social prescription is, and that's what we're really trying to promote.
And I think in terms of how we've gone about this project with having people from different disciplines sort of collecting or producing data, is that when it comes to putting findings forward for reports, is hopefully we're putting forward a more robust case to policy to say that these types of groups and these types of situations and these types of environments, because it is that specific in a way, we can't just say nature is good, because there's too many variables for that. As a researcher, for me, it's not about papers, it's about making that difference, because people suffer and we shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, the difference between an adult and a child is a child gets cared for and an adult provides care. And once you start on this social route of becoming part of a care system, whether you're subject to medical care or financial benefits, or it affects you psychologically and you feel displaced. You can't find your place in the world, and people become dependent on these provisions, these caregiving systems. If you can address that and empower them to actually take care of something else themselves, especially if it's their own community, and people from the community, and you mentioned this, Andy, come along and say, well done, you've made a really good job, that is a shot in the arm for anybody. And for people who haven't had that as part of their day-to-day life, it's gold dust really. And it's about empowering people and setting them up on a journey to find their place back in society. And I think that's what it's all about. It's long-term, lifetime change, not just for the next 2 weeks.